And welcome back. The George Floyd Memorial Foundation works to unite our voices for change, challenge the systemic obstacles facing our community, and eliminate the violence and murder of unarmed, nonviolent, and non-resisting Black individuals. Joining us now and sharing more is the executive director of the George Floyd Memorial, Jacari W. Harris. And Jacari, thank you so much for being with us. And even though we are years past the George Floyd verdict, it's something that we watched during COVID. It's something that America witnessed. We still understand that even though there has been a guilty verdict, there's still more work that needs to be done.
It is more work that needs to be done. The guilty verdict is just one component of the much needed work that needs to be done. And that's why we're here today to be the change that we wish to see, to show up when everyone else is giving up, and to just bring about a new day.
Mhm. And when we talk about bringing about a new day, obviously it's important to try to usher in change. And change is something that we want to do by social justice methods. Change is something we want to do by criminal justice reform. Change is something we want to do with racism and bigotry and sexism. These are things that really need to change. But I know your organization is doing a great job of trying to facilitate change. Talk to me about the backgrounds of the organization.
Definitely. Well, we have three main pillars. It's community reform, it's education, and criminal justice reform. And although all the pillars are very essential in what we think as a team, as a board, will bring about a new day for communities all over the world. I truly um, hit upon the education community, the education pillar, because education, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune once said that education is the prime need of the hour. And it's whether it's educating individuals on why they should take action, what they should be focusing on, or ensuring that younger youth, the younger teens, are preparing to go to college or are preparing to get a trade or preparing to be next leaders. So when we speak about education, it's really uniting a voice. It's coming together on one agenda with no hidden agendas, but coming together to focus on the main issues and bringing about solutions. And that's what I tell everyone I work with. We're not just going to bring issues and challenges and obstacles to the table. We're going to bring solutions. And until we meet the goal, until we solve the issue, solve the problem, until we get that policy or that law or that legislation in act, we have to continue to push the agenda forward. So that's what we've been doing in terms of education. In terms of community reform and community development, we have been working with businesses within North Carolina and Houston, Minneapolis, and New York to ensure that they have the resources, the tools, the knowledge, and the support that they need to flourish, not just to survive, but to flourish. And I believe that when we were all created, in this world on this earth, we were not here just to survive or just to do basic mediocrity. We are here to exemplify what it looks like to be a Black woman, what it looks like to be a Black, male. So we're really being the change that we wish to see within communities all over, whether it's helping homelessness population, whether it's helping the underserved, whether it's helping those individuals who have a degree but don't have the knowledge or the resources or the tools to land that particular job to get in that career field that they're needing to get in. So we're really showing up and putting our boots on every single day and truly being the change that we wish to see.
When we talk about racial inequity, that's one of the tools that, or I should say, one of the issues that really needs to be dealt with. What do you see as the way that we can deal? Because there are some very root causes there. And how do we deal and break some of those root causes of racial inequity?
Definitely. Well, the issue with racial inequity is, first, people don't like to admit and acknowledge and confront head on the systemic racism and the inequity that we, have to experience. When I say, we, the other side, don't want to acknowledge what Black and brown individuals have had to experience, not just in 2020, not just, here in 2022, but 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. We're dealing with the same cycle of inequities. And in order for us to really see positive, meaningful generations to come change, we have to start with the root, because you can pluck the leaves, you can break the branch, but you have to get down in the dirt, in the weeds, in the roots, and start from there because there's something that's contaminated, and it's time for us to disrupt whatever is that's contaminated and fix it from the root up so we can begin afresh. So it's about expanding the perspectives, expanding your ideas, realizing that you can come to the table with a diverse group of people, and you all can share, you all can collaborate, you all can work together in a united front and not backwards divided. We're living in a day and a time in our world where so many people want to do something on their own. They want to start their own business. They want to be titled over this own policy or laws or elections, but it's nothing like doing it together. I always believe, I grew up in the church, so my mom always say, 2 to 3 people comes together, it's great. Well, that's what you need in terms of policy. That's what you need in terms of real sustainable change within our communities, in our world. Because the truth of the matter is, we won't be here always. So we want to ensure that we are igniting a fire. We are tooling and retooling youth, teens, and young adults, and all those who may come after us so that they can be well prepared, that we're creating a pathway that's straight. Yes, there will be obstacles. Yes, there will be hurdles. Yes, there will be bumps. And yes, there will be mountains. But there is nothing that's too hard for us to overcome and bring about a new day.
Your foundation actually started by George Floyd's sister, Bridget. She started it with other members of the Floyd family in the year 2020 of August. I want to ask the question, since August of 2020, when the organization has taken its first initial steps, how do you feel the growth has come? Because we've had conversations with the family before, talking about the fact that, listen, we're not just satisfied that this verdict was given. We want to see systemic change.
Systemic change. Definitely. Well, since August 6th, 2020, it has not been an easy road. Nothing that is meant to last a lifetime, nothing that is meant to be sustainable and bring about real reform and change. It's not meant to be easy. But what I can say is been well worth it. And it's just been an honor to, serve in this capacity for these past 2 years and really hearing testimonies and seeing change happen before our eyes because of the work that we have put in, the blood, sweat, tears, the marches, the protests, the showing up to Capitol Hill, the policies that we have, demanded to be implemented in, and just showing up when everyone else felt like giving up and really figuring out what are those core programs, what are those core needs in communities. And no, we can't do everything at one time, but we do have a team, we do have volunteers, and we have supporters like you and so many people all over our great world and within the U.S. alone that will help us continue to push the agenda forward. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
I want to talk a little bit about mental health because that's a huge thing that we're trying to deal with here within our community. There's a stigma that's associated with mental health, particularly within our very own community. But then on the outside, there is a lack of cultural competence when it comes to really addressing those issues of mental health. It seems as though that people just don't know or they don't want to know. So what can we do to bring more knowledge and give that knowledge in the area of mental health that you guys are working on?
Right. And I like how you said it seems as if people don't know or they don't want to know because it's both of them. Some people, they don't know the resources that's out there, that's free, that's available. They don't know how to get access. And there's some people who knows what they need to do to get access. They just don't want to do it. They want to act as if they don't know, so they don't get the help. But here at the foundation, we knew in 2021, beginning of 2021, that mental health is a crisis, especially in the Black and Brown community. That is the reason why, we hired a mental health expert, Dr. Kalisha Brooks, to come on and create a program to educate and to ensure that we're providing micro grants for families, for individuals to get mental health counseling, to get services and things of that nature. It's one thing to just provide education, but it's another thing to provide micro grants and funding so that we can ensure that they're on a pathway to reviving their mental state of mind, to ensuring that they can heal, because it's enough trauma, it's enough issues going on in the world today. Just like yesterday when former President Donald Trump, when he put in his bid for re-election for president in 2024. I have seen many tweets, messages, I've got calls. People are already stressing and that is trauma. That is something that we should not have to experience, but we are. And that is why it's important to take care of your mental health, because there's always going to be something going on in this world, but there's only one you, and we cannot allow you or anyone else to lose their mental capacity because of the issues of the world. We have to take care of ourselves first and then go out in the community and take care of others.
What's it been like for you? I mean, obviously, of course, the last couple of years, things have been really, front and center. Having to
Yeah.
deal with the issue of just George Floyd himself, the
It's a lot.
whole, the whole world watched this murder, and then after watching the murder, the aftermath of the murder. What's it been like for you? Because the Floyd family's name doesn't get out of the media. The Floyd family's name doesn't, just go away. For you, talk to me about what it's been like for you and the organization living in the spotlight after this is all taking place.
It's been very eye-opening. It's like I said, I'm honored to be in this capacity, in this role. But it's very traumatizing. It's you have to show up. When I say to show up, when everyone else is giving up, you have to be thinking a couple steps ahead to keep the vision alive, to keep people understanding. Yeah, we may have lost this obstacle. Yeah, this may have happened, but we can come back 10 times harder. And that is why it's important to be grounded, to be spiritually grounded and rooted and have the people around you. And that's why it's important for me to even, go to therapy myself. And in all transparency, the first year, I didn't go to therapy at all because I was so busy. But in 2021, I said, no, I have to prioritize that because I will lose my mind. And you can't lose your mind because people, things, and situations will just try to take you out and try to make you seem as if you're less than. They try to make you seem as if what you're doing is not good, but you are good. You're not here for no reason. You're here to be great and to do great things. So while I'm here with breath in my body and while we're creating an impact and leaving a legacy, we're going to take care of ourselves as well.
How's the organization been received? I've always been curious to say, because, when you say the name George Floyd, in some circles, of course, our community has a whole lot of love, but there's others who just don't particularly care for the name George Floyd and the things that George Floyd Foundation stands for. What's it been like for you?
People don't care about the name George Floyd, what we stand for. People don't even care about the movement. People are still thinking that Black lives don't matter. And what I've experienced here at the foundation, I mean, besides the threats and people sending emails and all this craziness, people are uneducated. They have seen a tweet that said something bad about George Floyd or bad about the movement, and they took it and ran with it. They did not study. They did not educate themselves. So when we get these influx of emails about bad things about the foundation, about the Black Lives Matter, the movement, George Floyd, a part of me just want to just educate them. And then the other part of me is like, no, I cannot take every day to educate these people on this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it, because the information is already out there. Like you said, the people who want to know and don't want to know, these are people who don't want to know. They don't want to expand their perspective to understand that there's more to life than what you think. There's more to George Floyd. Number one, he was a human. We are all imperfect. We are all imperfect people living in an imperfect world, which means that we've all had issues before. We've all had obstacles. It's what you do with those issues. It's how you overcome them. And George Floyd was overcoming every single obstacle and every single artificial limitation that was defied upon him. He would give the shirt off his back for anyone. He showed up. He did community service. He worked. He went to church. He did so much. And here at the foundation, we wanted to ensure that people not only knew George Floyd, but we wanted George Floyd's legacy. But we wanted to make sure that people knew what to do and how to do so that they too can have a meaningful and impactful legacy. And truth be told, some folks who have sent nasty emails, who have cursed us out, who have threatened us, they're not open to learn. They think they know it all, and they think that their way is the only way. And I've learned at 26 years of age that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah. Talk to me about how people can get connected to the foundation and do some work, whether it's assisting in the initiatives or finding out more information or disseminating information.
Definitely. Well, you can always go to the George Floyd Memorial Foundation.org on your website. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, George Floyd Memorial Foundation or Justice for George. We're here. We're ready. We are excited. 2023 is going to be a major year, and it's up to us to decide and design what that looks like. And that's why every day I'm working closely with the family and with the board to figure out what exactly 2023 looks like, not just for the foundation, not just for the Floyd family, not just for the legacy of George Floyd, but for our entire world.
Yeah. And for yourself, you're the author of a book. I want to get you to talk a little bit about your book and the work that you've done there.
Definitely Lost and Found, Finding Success in the Search for Self. My book released back in September 15th of 2020. It speaks about how you can rise above life losses and begin anew. And I just simply shared my story of being in foster care and being adopted and realizing that I'm not going to allow my former circumstance or my former obstacles or the obstacles or the trials that I faced growing up to dictate or determine my destiny, my future. What I was going to do, I was going to use that to be building blocks to ensure that my future is limitless. So my book serves as a resource. It serves as inspiration to others that despite what you're going through, despite the losses in life, you can still become anew. So it's my book, and my mentor, Attorney Ben Crump, looking forward to it. And he just shares how he met me and I met him, and how I am, how he says I am just striving in life and just showing other people how to truly rise above life losses and begin anew.
Jacari W. Harris, Executive Director of the George Floyd Memorial Foundation. Thank you so much for being with us, brother, and continue to keep up the great work. We'll continue to stay in contact, and you let us know how things are going out there.
Thank you. Have a great one. Thank you.
All righty. Jacari W. Harris, taking a quick break here on the Social Justice Forums. We'll be back with more right after this.